Rstv, bringing you the news as it is.
On the news at 3, Rivers State government takes adequate measure on tax payment warns against unauthorized collection. Pensioners Rivers State Local Government Service Commission announces commencement of biometric verification exercise plus. TUC NLC issue 14-day ultimatum over health workers' pay, threaten nationwide strike. This is the news at 3. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ibiguni Kalio. River State, treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. It's a task we must accomplish. You can watch our news live on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. You can subscribe and click the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Now, River State government is taking adequate measures to ensure taxes paid by companies, corporate bodies, and individuals who do business in the state are duly remitted to the state's coffers. Permanent Secretary, River State Ministry of Special Duties, Dabete George, disclosed this while briefing newsmen in his office in Port Harcourt. Melvin Jackson takes it from here.
The unwholesome nature of tax collection as it relates to the Ministry of Special Duties. As we all know, tax is what government uses to develop. And when they get the tax, they use it to evaluate things and projects and programs of government. It helps government to plan. The statutory body recognized to collect tax, the Board of Internal Revenue, as you all know, but the Ministry of Special Duties, that has an arm, a department of the River State Fire Service, collects fire service levies, charges, and rates. But this money ordinarily should have been paid to the River State government coffers. But we discovered that there are tax forces going around with some staffs of the ministry issuing demand notices and fire certificates to taxable entities, hospitals, schools, hotels, business premises, and so forth.
Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Special Duties, Dabete George, warned against unauthorized tax collection by impostors who claim to be agents of government, urging the public to be vigilant and pay to government-recognized agents and designated bank accounts. The Permanent Secretary also warns fake tax and revenue agents to desist from collecting taxes without authorization, noting that collection of River State Fire Service levy is suspended until further notice.
I've been directed by His Excellency to tell the general public that from 1st January 2026, nobody is authorized to collect fire service levy tax rates from any entity operating in River State. Fire service levy collection is hereby suspended for now until when government will come out with a clear-cut guideline on how to go about the collection of these taxes.
George emphasized that the only body mandated to collect taxes in the state is the River State Internal Revenue Service, warning that unauthorized tax collectors will be arrested and prosecuted.
Whoever issues or accepts to pay and collect any certificate, that certificate is null and void. If you have any challenge, you can come to the office of the Permanent Secretary for clarification, and we will direct the general public on the best way to go about paying their levies, dues, and rates. So this is to tell the general public so that they will be in the know and not be deceived. If anyone comes to you to say they want to collect fire services, please be free to call the Permanent Secretary's Office or Ministry of Special Duties for further clarifications.
Melvin Jackson, Rstv News.
The River State Local Government Service Commission has announced the commencement of a biometric verification exercise for all pensioners across the 23 local government areas of the state. The exercise, according to the Commission, is a part of its ongoing efforts to strengthen transparency, accountability, and efficiency in the management of the local government system, particularly as it concerns pension administration. The verification process will involve issuance and submission of verification forms, which will hold from Monday 26th January to Friday 6th February 2026 at the Norgate Consulate, Port Harcourt, between 9 o'clock in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon daily. Affected pensioners are advised to attend the exercise with legible copies of the letter of first appointment, letter of confirmation of first appointment, letter of last promotion, letter of retirement, age declaration or birth certificate, authority for payment of retirement benefits, local government area certificate of origin, BVN printout, bank statement of account covering 5 years, computation of retirement benefits, pensioner identification card, and national retirement number NRN slip. The Commission further stated that the biometric verification will be conducted in batches, and details regarding batch schedules will be communicated through appropriate channels. The memo advised all concerned pensioners to comply promptly, as the exercise is crucial to ensuring accurate records and a seamless payment of pension benefits. Break beckons. But just before we do that, River State, a treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. It's a task we must accomplish. You can watch our news live on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. You can as well subscribe and click the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Before the break, Ukraine condemns brutal Russian strikes ahead of second day of peace talks. And in sports, FIFA unveils a $4 million prize pool for Women's Champions Cup. Details of this and more when we return.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
Welcome back. As the political crisis in the state lingers, the Christian Association of Nigeria, River State Branch, has declared a one-day fasting and prayer for peace, good governance, and political stability in River State. Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, River State Branch, Most Reverend Dikiboeria Kaladokubo, announced this while briefing journalists in Port Harcourt. Nnamdi Olimini reports.
Most Reverend Kala Dokubo enjoined all the heads of block in Kan River State, church leaders and stakeholders in the body of Christ to mobilize their members for the sacred and all-important spiritual intervention slated for Thursday, February 5, 10 a.m. at the Ecumenical Center, Abonima Wharf Road, Port Harcourt. He appealed to both arms of government to imbibe the spirit of forgiveness and prioritize good governance in the state, while urging parties involved in the conflict to call on their supporters to exercise restraint in their utterances and de-escalate tension in the interest of peace in River State. According to him, the roles of some elder statesmen and individuals who encourage division and instability instead of guiding the process towards peace is condemnable.
The leadership of Kan River State, with the approval of the chairman and council, hereby declare a one-day fasting and prayer program for peace and good governance and political stability in River State. We enjoin all heads of blocks in Kan River State, church leaders, stakeholders in the body of Christ to mobilize their members for the scared and all-important spiritual intervention slated for Thursday, the 5th of February 2026 at 10 a.m. at the Christian Ecumenical Center, Abona Wharf Road, Port Harcourt.
The CAN chairman said, as custodians of spiritual and moral conscience of Rivers State, they cannot fold their arms while the state is pushed steadily toward chaos, institutional breakdown, and avoidable suffering. He expressed disappointment that the continued escalation of the crisis will hinder governance, delay budgets, erode public trust, and impede peaceful, constructive development.
We will no longer watch our political leaders to continue to fight for their personal interests while governance is taking the back seat in Rivers State. Hence, the clarion call on all the political gladiators to halt all forms of hostilities in the interest of peace, stability, and progress of our dear state.
Nnamdi Olimini, Rstv News.
The Trade Union Congress of Nigeria TUC and the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC have issued a final 14-day ultimatum to the Federal Ministry of Health and relevant government agencies to immediately implement the long-delayed adjustment of the consolidated health salary structure, warning that failure to comply with will trigger a nationwide industrial action. A joint press statement signed by Comrade General Na Toro, Secretary General of the TUC, and Comrade Benson Upa, Acting General Secretary of the NLC. The two labor centers condemned the persistent, deliberate, and provocative refusal of the government to implement the report of the Technical Committee on CONHES, submitted since 2021. Chaired by the chairman of the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission. The union lamented that 5 years after the submission of the report, the federal government has chosen to ignore it, subjecting health workers to hardship, frustration, and inequality. The labor centers described as unacceptable the selective implementation of salary policies within the health sector, noting that while the government promptly implemented the adjustment of the Consolidated Medical Salary Structure, CONHES, with effect from January 2nd, 2024, it has willfully refused to do the same for CONHES. The TUC and NLC announced a final and irrevocable 14-day ultimatum demanding the immediate implementation of the 2021 Technical Committee report on CONHES in line with established precedents in the health sector. Ukraine has condemned a fresh wave of Russian strikes overnight, which killed one person and injured 23 others, as talks with the U.S. aimed at ending the war set to resume. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha said the brutal attack, ordered by Russian leader Vladimir Putin, had the negotiation table turned upside down. Delegations from Russia, Ukraine, and US have been meeting in Abu Dhabi for the first trilateral talks since the Kremlin launched a full-scale invasion of its neighbor in 2022. Kiev's mayor Vitaly Klitschko said 3 of the 4 people who had been injured had been hospitalized and that the capital's critical infrastructure had been damaged, leaving 6,000 buildings without heating. However, Kharkiv Mayor Ihor Terekov said 19 people had been injured during the strikes on Saturday, while a maternity hospital and a hostel for displaced people were damaged. And in sports, the inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup will make history by offering record prize money, with the eventual champions set to earn $2.3 million, the highest single payout in women's football club. FIFA disclosed that the runners-up are the final schedule for Sunday, February 1, 2026 at Arsenal Stadium, London, will receive $1 million. Reports say clubs eliminated at the semi-final stage will earn $200,000 each, while Auckland United FC of New Zealand and Wuhan Shegu Giganda WFC of China, who exited in the opening round, will take home $100,000 apiece. In total, nearly $4 million will be distributed among the 6 participating clubs. FIFA Secretary General Matthias Grandstrom said the prize structure underscored FIFA's confidence in the growth of women's club football. He noted that the Women's Champions Cup forms a part of broader reforms, including improvements to the women's international match calendar and the introduction of new elite competitions such as the FIFA Women's Club World Cup, set to debut in 2028. The Women's Champions Cup brings together the top women's club from each confederation to compete for the Intercontinental title. The semi-finals will be held at Brentford Stadium on Wednesday, January 28, with Gotham FC of the United States facing Brazil's Corinthians, while Arsenal women take on Morocco's Asfar. River State is a treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. It's a task we must accomplish.